Okay, I'm hoping it's working now. I don't know what was happening. But anyways, I'm making some stuff for a craft show, and a lot of people were commenting they didn't like the view of the camera overhead when I was making the snowman. So I thought I would do a quick live video while I was getting ready for a craft show and make a couple of things in front of you and have it ready. So I'm hoping that you can hear me. I'm using my laptop. It doesn't have a mic on it. I'll make sure that the volume is up, and we'll get started. So as you know, when we do sock snowman, we need some socks, and just plain white tube socks. We're going to cut it in half. I've already done this, and then of course the live stream kind of dropped off on me, so I'm going to try it this way, and I'll probably just adjust the camera so that you can see it down lower on here. So now that I've got it running, and sorry to keep you waiting, I've already filled it partially away with some rice. So I'm just going to fill up this guy with more rice, and we'll get started. Okay, so this is my first live video. Sorry for kind of screwing it up on the first try. So I'm just going to fill this guy up, and I'm hoping not to make this video too long. There has been a lot of comments. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. So I'm just using white rice. I do keep it in the freezer before I use it. And also, when you're finished these little guys, if you want to store them in the winter time, I just throw them in the freezer for the winter just in case. You never know. Or the summer, and bring them out again. Keeps them all nice and fresh. So I'm just going to fill it up to about there, and I'm just actually going to tie the top and use a small little elastic. And it doesn't matter what color. I'm trying to grab the white one. So these little sock snowmen are very popular. Everybody tends to make them slightly different. There's different ways of doing them. Once you have the elastic tied, like so, you just take a string and tie it with the string, just to in case the elastic gives way, because it can if it eventually gets old and breaks. So I just kind of double knot it and cut the excess off. And I'm going to just cut a little bit of the excess off the top. So the snowman is pretty fun to make. You can actually kind of put, if you wanted to, put a little elastic here as well if you want. But I like them like slouchy like this. So I've already used these socks, so I have one of each still left over from another snowman that I've done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think I'm just going to use this red striped one right now. So what I want to do is to create a little body for him. So I'm going to cut the sock in half right at the heel. And that's going to be his hat, and this is going to be his body. So I'm going to cut the heel off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this cuff off as well, because I'm actually going to use that. I want a little bit of the sock on it as well. So it kind of frays a little bit on the top, kind of like that. So this guy is, I'm Canadian, so I kind of like the little Canadian sock. By the way, I know I have a lot of people from the U.S. That are subscribing here. Happy Thanksgiving. I know you guys just had Thanksgiving, and I hope it was grand. You got to spend a lot of time with your family. So we're just going to slip this guy, his little sweater on him. And I kind of like with the snowman a bit of the bottom of the white to show through. So I kind of do a little bit of a slouch, and I push him down. And let it roll at the top, kind of like that. If you miss part of it, obviously it will be posted later. You can watch it again. So And now we've got the collar, and I like the rolled part to be right at his neck, so it kind of gives him the look of the neck. Okay, so we're just going to put that over top like so. Kind of working backwards so you can see it. All right, so basically kind of like that. So now we've got the toe part for his hat. So I'm just going to cuff and roll it up a little bit like this. And I'm just going to put his hat on like so. And I only want a little bit of his face to peek through. Kind of cute, eh? If you have some loose threads, just trim them off. So let me just, hang on, I've got the seam there. I like that. I mean, he's kind of, I like a little bit of crookness. So we just want just a tiny little bit coming out. Okay, and then what I do is I take a piece of orange felt, and I'm just gonna cut a small little triangle. You can cut it however you want. I'll put that back. So it's just a little triangle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it like this, and I'm gonna hot glue that little tip right there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just gonna hot glue it together. And I'm gonna hot glue it on his face. I'm sorry, at my dollar store glue gun is very squeaky. So, okay, so let me just fix him up here. So he has a little carrot nose, just like that. And I like to use little beady black eyes. So these are just little half cut. They're not really beads. They're just little circles, plastic circles cut in half. And I'm just going to glue on his little eyes. Sometimes it's easier just to glue where you want it and then put it on the sock. Can everybody hear me okay? I know I'm a soft spoken type person, but can you hear me okay? And I'm just gonna put his little eyes on. Oh shoot, stuck to my thumb. Oh good, I'm glad you guys can hear me because I know I get a lot of comments that I'm too soft and they can't hear me. So let me just get his eye on. It's stuck to my finger. Okay, that one's covered in glue. Let's try a new one. Oh, that worked better. One more. I actually usually like them a little closer together, but I mean, it's all in your own preference. So there's his little eyes. Okay, so basically this guy is done. Now you can start putting some extra stuff on. You can put some ribbon on it. I like to tie his little top of his hat with an elastic. So you can put like a little scarf on him, or some buttons down his shirt, anything that you want. So this is basically the base of your little snowman, and then you can start decorating them how you want. So what I tend to do is I cut into the toe, kind of like this. And I know I said it on the other video, I call it like spider dog. So I'm just kind of cutting it in so it curls like so. And it curls up like that. So this guy is pretty much done. I'm going to decorate him later, maybe throw some buttons on him and stuff like that. But this is basically the snowman. Has anyone tried this one yet? Hi from Ohio. Okay, so the next guy, they always start out as a pair. This guy is just a plain black sock. And I also cut it at the heel. And he's also filled exactly the same way this guy is and tied at the top. But now we're going to make a penguin. So to do a penguin quickly, you're going to cut a piece of felt like this. And it's kind of just in the shape of a little snowman, really. See that? And it's actually going to go onto your little pear like so. So we're going to hot glue this on right now. So I'm just going to center it where I want it, and I'm just going to throw some hot glue on it. Don't you just love no-sew projects? Okay. And yes, I get glue on my fingers. Okay, so I'm basically just gluing it right onto my sock, as you can see. And what I'm going to end up doing is as soon as this is glued, I'm actually going to be putting a little scarf around him around here. Now, I'm going to also take a little elastic and I'm going to put it around his neck. The scarf is going to hold it, so you don't necessarily have to put a piece of string around there. But if you want to do that, you can. So this guy has that on there. Now with this guy here, I chose some leftover socks. So this is actually from one of my gnomes. It's the toe that I didn't use. So this is going to actually be his hat. All right, and what you need also to do is to cut out a couple of little feet. So these feet are going to go down here, and we're going to hot glue them on the base of him. And you need to cut out some wings. So the wings we're going to actually, it's all felt. So we're just going to cut out, if you can see that, it's a little wing. And I got the same in white, and I'm actually going to glue the white to the black. Hopefully it's the same. And I'm first going to do that. And if it's not exact, just kind of trim it up so it's basically exactly here. Okay, so this is actually going to go along the side of him like so. So we're going to do two of them. Here's the second one. I'm glad you like my gnomes. Everybody tends to like the gnomes. I know there's a lot of videos out there now since I've done the first gnome. And I think that everybody's taken it and gone their own way with it. There's so many different ways of doing it now. And I really like them all. And I really like that people are sharing their pictures with me. And if you haven't tried the gnomes, you really got to try it because they become addictive. All right, so this guy is pretty close to what I wanted. I'm doing this quickly. I do have a paint night tonight, so I can't be on here all night. Okay, so now we've got our two wings, and they're actually going to be glued to the side of him. So let me just get this going here for a minute. Got a lot of hairs. The white is going to be on the underside of the wing, and I'm just going to attach it. And I'm going to attach, I should tell you, my elastic just, because of the hot glue, the elastic just melted. So let me just put another one on. And maybe I didn't get the tie on yet. Okay. So I'm just going to hot glue a little bit of the feet, and I'm going to put it, basically I'm just going to let it sit to my counter. I'm just going to set it where I want it. And I'm just going to place my little guy right on them. Like so. So now we want our hat. I'm not sure if I want to take the heel off just yet. Let me just see. I'm just going to roll them up. Kind of like so. What do you guys think? You can put them on an angle. You have to figure out how you want this sock to go on. Okay, so if you want, I was going to use another sock for a scarf, but what we can do is we can make a shorter hat and just cut some of this, and now I've got his scarf. So I'm just going to cut it right off and tie it. Okay, so that's the scarf. I feel like I'm doing this backwards. And now I'm going to put his hat back on. Okay, so we're going to glue this on. We can glue the scarf on as well. First, I'm going to do the beak. So I did cut out a little triangle, just like we do on the snowman. He's got his little carrot nose. This little beak is a little smaller, and we're just going to fold it at where we're going to attach it to the face and glue it a little bit and attach it to his little face. Like so. Starting to look like a penguin. All right, and now you can either use the little beady eyes, or you could use some small buttons. These are tiny little buttons I got at Len's Mills. Not very expensive. That's $3.50 for a little bag like this, and they're really, really, really small. They're really cute, though. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just reading some of the comments here. I know there's an awful lot there. I don't want to be sitting here reading comments, but I will actually read the comments after and definitely get back to you if you have any questions. So I'm just going to glue these little button eyes on. Now these are really fun crafts to do with kids, as long as they're not going to burn themselves with a glue gun. You can get silicone finger protectors. I haven't got them yet, but I have been meaning to get them. And I'm just going to glue his hat on. And I'm going to do the same thing I did. I actually really like the look of the little hat tied at the top, and then cut. It just, actually, you can even just, if you want, just tie it and put a sparkly pom-pom on the top as well. So, like so. And that's pretty much it there. I mean, you can decorate him a little bit more if you want. You can change his scarf and put maybe some snowflakes on it. You can cut the ends of here and fray it a little bit more. You could make the neck a little bit wider on there. So a cute little snowman, or snowman, penguin. So does anybody have time for one more? Okay. I know he's stinking cute, isn't he? Okay, so these guys here are the two guys that were saying. So as you know, I like doing gnomes, but I also like to do Santas. So I'm going to do the same thing here, but it's just going to be a Santa. I'm not going to pull out his nose like I do on the gnome. I'm actually not going to do that at all because I actually want to just use a pom-pom on his face and use that as his nose. So with the leftover red socks, you can make a Santa. You can use the toe for the hat, and you can use another sock that you haven't touched for the body, and just use red. I would put some black buttons on his belly, but his beard is not going to show that much. So he's actually going to be seen a little bit more like this. And I'm just going to use a pom-pom for his nose. And of course, Santa has a rosy nose and probably some rosy cheeks. So you're definitely going to put some blush on the tip of the pom-pom when you put it on his face. So we're going to just attach this to his little face. Now he's fat, and I'm just going to push him down a bit, and I'm just going to glue his little nose on. Have some faux fur, just like I do in the videos, cut into a V, and we're just going to throw on his beard. So he doesn't have to be a gnome. He can be this jolly old Saint Nick that you want to see instead, right? And then he gets his hat on. So simple, just the toe. Again, I'm just going to cut the heel off a little bit. And I'm going to give him a hat. And so what I end up doing is I sometimes take some, what do you call it, white felt, and I could sometimes wrap a little bit of white felt around here, and I throw a nice big white ponytail, pom-pom on the top of his hat, and then let it droop if I want. He's quite fat. You can put a little black belt around him, and you have an instant Santa. So it doesn't have to be strictly gnomes. This guy is kind of looks more like a Santa than a gnome, and so simple to do. Throw some candy cane embellishments on him, and you've got a cute little Santa. And that's it. So, any questions before I end this video? Let's see. I'm glad you guys all like it. Let me just see here. Pretty much everything that you can get for these. I just buy any kind of sock that I want. You know, I can get them at the dollar store, or if I see them on clearance, I pick them up. I love the little striped stuff. These are just standard non-fuzzy socks. Like these are fuzzy socks. And then I just pick up socks when they're on markdown. You can fill these guys also with Epsom salt or just with fluff if you're concerned about the rice. I've had a lot of people comment about rice that I shouldn't be using a food item and that I'm ruining socks. But unfortunately, there are crafts out there and other people make things too. And this is the way I like to do my little crafts. Mm. What size do I use? I use adult size socks. Sometimes when I make the snowman, they can be kid size because you don't need a really big sock for the hat. On the base sock, a white sock is an adult tube sock. It's just you buy a 10 pack of sports socks, really cheap. It's less than $1 a sock when you buy a 6 pack for under $5. Sometimes I can find them really cheap. Any other questions? The other thing that you can make too, I've made this way is I've made owls. They're also cute, and I've seen other people making little Christmas mice. So you can add little ears to the tops of the hats and tails at the back. I've made Easter bunnies. I should have grabbed one. I have one. They don't wear hats. I actually use a second sock and I cut it and make ears out of it. What else can you make? There's a lot of different options when it comes to these guys. Yeah, owls are cool. If you're gonna make an owl, it's without the hat, and you're basically doing a V in felt and gluing it down so that you have ears. How much rice do I use? I'm going to say a little bit more, over two cups per guy, because I fill up this, and usually have to put in a little bit more based on how fat you want it to be. All right. If there isn't any other questions, thanks for joining my very first live video. I hope it was okay. I'm just sitting here in my kitchen, nice and quiet, so that you can hear me. And I'll read the rest of your comments. So anybody still enjoying Thanksgiving over in the States, enjoy. And if I'm not on here anytime soon, I hope everybody has happy holidays. I'm sure I will be, but enjoy your holidays and spend time with your family. Thanks. Bye.